What's up, everybody? Pastor Matt. Thank you so much for checking into my YouTube channel. Go wide, young man. That's right, we're talking about wide margins today. Which Bible actually has the widest of wide margins? That's our topic today. Before we get into that, let me just invite you to come to our church. I'm the pastor of Gospel Fellowship PCA, a Reformed Presbyterian church just north of Pittsburgh. If you're in the area or know someone who is, please come check us out. So this is my first wide margin. This is the Venerable Cambridge Wide Margin ESV, sometimes called the Eagle, because it is so wide when you hold it out. It's the widest of wides. Everybody thinks that this is the golden standard of wide margins. And to some it is. It certainly was for me for a number of years. I used this Bible for 5 years straight, which is why the margins around the edges are almost completely filled. Love this Bible. Has some of the best paper in the world, and it's been featured in a bunch of videos on this channel, so you probably already know it. But does it really have the widest of wide margins? Well, we're going to test that out mathematically today. So the Cambridge has an inner margin of 1 inch, but an outer margin of 1.4 inches. So you get a little bit more margin on the outers than the inners, which is one of the things that, to be honest, kind of bugs me about this book. You'd think, if anything, the inner margin would get a little extra space because it has to deal with the crease in here. But if you add up the 1 inch on the inside and the 1.4 on the outside, you're looking at about 21.6 square inches of note-taking paper per page. Now, in this analysis, I'm not going to be including some of the peripheral stuff on the upper and bottom margins. We're only going to be looking primarily at the main writing margins in this analysis. Somebody else who's better than math can maybe figure out the area. But one of the things you're going to have to do then is multiply your area by the number of pages in the Bible. In this case, 1,036 pages. So that's going to give us a total of 22,377 square inches of writable space. Again, I'm only including the margins. I'm not really doing the top and the bottom, although you see that I have notes in those spaces too. So that's going to mess with the math a little bit, but we're basically working with just big round numbers here. So remember this number, 22,000. That's going to be about the square inches for the Cambridge Eagle. Well, let's see what else there is. I have been working more recently from the ESV Heirloom wide margin. And one of the things that I like about this one is that the inner margin has been corrected from the Cambridge. The inner margin here is 1.25 inches with a 1 inch margin on the outside, which makes it feel right to me that the inner and the outer margins are the same. Again, you got a little bit of space to work here on the tops and the bottoms, but we're not including that in this analysis. So for the Heirloom wide margin ESV, you have about 20 square inches per page. But here's the thing, and this is where the math is going to blow up a little bit. This Bible has more pages. It has 1,359 pages. And one of the reasons for that is that the font is a little bit bigger than the Cambridge wide margin. So if you have trouble reading a smaller font, you might want to choose this one. But the benefit then to the total square inches is that you have more pages to multiply the area over, and so this one is going to have just over 28,284 square inches of writing space. Now already we have a winner between the Cambridge and the Heirloom here. Remember, the Cambridge wide margin had 22,000 approximately. This one has 28,000, so you have actually more writing space on this Bible. Now we could quibble, of course, with the tops and the bottoms. But at least for our purposes, because you have more pages in this Bible than the previous one, you're also going to give it about 6,000 square inches of more usable writing space. So that really measures up over time, and that's going to make a difference. Again, though, another detriment to this one is that the pages are thinner to try to keep the Bible at a usable weight. They used a little bit thinner paper here than in the Cambridge. So if that helps you out, the Heirloom actually has more writing space than the Cambridge wide margin. Well, what else can we consider here? How about this? I've been in love with this Bible lately. I have to admit this. I did a review of this Bible a long time back, but it's been a while since I've talked about it. It's kind of sat on my shelf. And then I recently got it out because I love the fact that this Bible here, this is the Crossway large print journaling Bible with the lines on the outside. Now, we're not even going to count the inner margins in this one because They're less than an inch. They're just half an inch or so, but it's really not usable writing space because of the thickness of this Bible. The crease gets too deep, so I don't write anything in here. But I have 2.5 solid inches of some of the best Bible writing paper in this book right here. So we've got 2.5 times the 9.25 of the height, and that's going to give us about 23 square inches, already the best of the 3 Bibles we've looked at. And because this is a big chunky monkey Bible here, we've got 1,547 pages to spread that out over, and so that's going to give this Bible 35,774 square inches of writable space. So just to review again, the Cambridge Wide Margin had a little over 22,000, the Heirloom 28,000. This one has 35, almost 36,000 square inches of usable writing space. That makes this one the champion by far. Again, the benefit here, you're going to get a nice large print. You're going to get the best paper, equal to the Cambridge Wide Margins paper. In fact, this is my favorite paper of all. I love the cream color, and I love how thick it is. It's excellent for writability. And again, almost 36,000. So this is the champion so far. Almost 36,000 square inches of usable writing space. Again, not including the tops and the bottoms, and I'm not even including the inner margin here in the gutter, which I don't think is really very usable. Now this would be the champion, except that there is one more Bible that we have to consider, and this one is going to blow away the field. You may already know what this one is, but this is the Crossway Interleaved Blank Bible, based after the Blank Bible of Jonathan Edwards. And this one, of course, is going to blow away the field because every other page is completely blank. Now, this Bible is well over 3 pounds, almost 4 pounds, so you don't want to carry this bad boy around. But let's just do the math for fun on this one. This one has a full 6.5 wide by over 9, almost 9.5 inches high, and that's going to give this Bible 61 square inches of writing paper just on every single other page here. So easily going to blow away the field. Now, one thing that's going to throw off our math a little bit here is that you can only count that for every other page. So even though this Bible has almost 1,500 pages, we can really only multiply that usable writing space over half of the pages because every other page is not writable. But then again, once again, you could quibble that this has a margin over here on this side, and you have tops and bottoms, and I'm not even including that. So if you want to include these margins as well, then this Bible is by far and away your overall champion. So what do we have here with this Bible? We have 47,658 square inches of writing space. Blows away the field twice as much as the Cambridge Wide Margin. So just to review the numbers again, Cambridge Eagle 22,000, the ESV Heirloom 28,000, the ESV Large Print Journaling Bible almost 36,000 square inches, and this one has 47, almost 48,000. That is a ton of usable writing space. So go wide, young man. Go wide, young lady. Get yourself a wide margin Bible. Once you start writing your notes in a serious way in the scriptures, man, you just cannot go back. I could probably never go back to a regular Bible that doesn't have massive amounts of writing space, at least at this point in my life. So I hope that was a helpful review of some of the widest of wide margins. If you've got a great wide margin Bible, even if it's not an ESV, maybe you've got a New King James or a King James or another translation, I'd love to hear about your widest of wide margins in the comments below. So what I'm going to do for you, because you're probably wondering, how do I get this Bible and the other after that? I'm going to put links to all 4 of these Bibles in the description of this video, so you can simply toggle down and head over to Amazon and you can grab any one of these Bibles. Price flash, though, some of them are more expensive than others, and if we want to throw that into consideration, then this Bible here is going to be even better for the dollar because it's the cheapest one. It's a hardback edition, followed by some really affordable editions of the large print wide margin journaling Bible by ESV. I'll tell you what, let me argue for this Bible. That was my dog. Do you hear him just run across the room there? One argument for this Bible, because it doesn't use inner margins, your outer margins are the most usable writing space of all. Even with the Interleaved Bible, I have trouble sometimes getting my hand to get into these nooks and crannies over here. But in this Bible, by using only the outer margins for your writable space, you almost never have hand space issues here as you're trying to take your notes. So this one is highly to be commended. Excellent paper here, and for one of the cheapest Bibles in this group, really cannot lose with this one. The only thing you really give up is a little bit of heaviness. This Bible does tend to weigh a little bit, but of course, if you're going to put the same English Standard Version in a Bible, the more open space you have, of course, the Bible is going to get heavier. That's just the state of the game. So anyways, description links to Amazon to all of these Bibles if you want to grab one. Thank you so much for checking in. Do love you lots. If you know anybody north of Pittsburgh, come check us out, Gospel Fellowship PCA. Pastor Matt here. Love you lots, and we'll talk to you later.